Hello and welcome back to Making Sense of It All. It might feel a little bit like it's all over, this whole lockdown thing. I don't know about you, but when I go outside and I see the world around me, it certainly looks a lot more like it used to do. People are out, people are driving, people are walking, people are talking, people are meeting, people are shopping, people are getting their haircuts. Man alive, the amount of people I spoke to about getting their haircut, they're so excited. And it's really exciting what's happening at the moment. 4th of July here in this country, we're opening up loads more things again, things that we associate with normal. And that's great. That's awesome. I imagine it's a lot like the disciples were feeling at that season of Pentecost. All that time locked up and all of a sudden then bang, out into the world, out on the streets, back with people. But is it the end? Or do we still have further to go? I think we run the risk of focusing all of our attention on what's happening right now and not really realising that we've got a long race ahead of us. One that we can do incredible things with, one that we'll all be able to get through together, but one which we mustn't lose sight of. St. Paul, in one of his most famous pieces of scripture, talks about running a race. It's a really famous piece of scripture which reminds us basically that our eyes and our focus should always be on Jesus. That we shouldn't get distracted by the other things that try and get in our way. We've got to make sure that stays the same over the next few weeks and months. That even though we can go back to restaurants or go back to non-essential shops, that we don't lose sight of Jesus. That even though we can go back into our churches and worship together, albeit in small numbers for the first time, that we don't forget the amazing ways in which we've worshipped through our actions and through our lives over the last few weeks and months. We run the risk of falling back into bad habits, I suppose, of restricting our faith to a Sunday or making sure all the holy stuff happens inside a church building simply because we can get back to it. And if we do that, well, we're going to lose sight of where Jesus would be. Because would Jesus be desperate to get back into his church? Well, he'd want to, of course. But I think Jesus will be more desperate to still be with those people who are in need, to still be out in the world with those people who are feeling excluded, to still look after those people who are sick, to still minister and preach and love and be where he was needed. Let's not think that just because we can go back to church, that we can stop being a church in a world that needs it more than ever. Is it over? Well, this bit maybe. The next bit is just as important, and as long as we keep our eyes on Jesus, on what he is inspiring us to do as a church, we can bring beautiful, amazing fruit from this time of hardship. We can come out stronger and come out fighting. We can continue to be a church that affects and changes and inspires the world around us. And then, when we do celebrate, when we do come together for Mass, when we do come back to our spaces of worship again, that worship can be an expression of how we've lived our faith in our world and in our lives. And that's what it's all about. We'll see you soon.